I'm Jeff Ratcliffe for the Pro Football Focus Fantasy Slants. Where there's smoke, there's bound to be fire. After several weeks of rumblings and rumors out of Philadelphia regarding DeSean Jackson's future with the team, the Eagles unceremoniously released the receiver last Friday following a curious report on NJ.com regarding Jackson's alleged ties to gang members on the West Coast. Now, regardless of any of that situation, there are very real implications here for the fantasy landscape. Jackson had numerous suitors, but ultimately ended up signing with the Redskins on Tuesday to a 3-year deal worth $24 million. Now, he leaves a situation in Philadelphia where he was the best receiver on the team last year, the most productive receiver from a fantasy standpoint. He had 82 catches on the year, 1,332 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Those are some big numbers, and anybody with Jackson on their squad last year, he certainly paid dividends. Now, who's going to replace those numbers? There isn't really one guy on the Eagles right now who's going to just simply step in. Jeremy Maclin coming off an ACL injury. There's still questions of how is he going to recover from that. We have to wait, honestly, until the preseason to see exactly how that scenario will play out. We know Darren Sproles is in the mix, but Darren Sproles is not going to catch 82 balls, and he's certainly not a deep threat, but he will take some of that load. He will get his share of catches. But still, Sproles, I've said this before, if you're in a PPR league, then you're looking at Sproles. Outside of that, you're not going to look at Sproles in standard leagues. But PPR leagues, certainly RB3 worthy for Sproles. Now, we're going to have to honestly wait until after the draft plays out to see exactly what we have with this Eagles team. But we can look to the Redskins because I think we have a much better understanding of what's going on in Washington with Jackson now in the mix. We know first and foremost there is a regime change. Jay Gruden is in, Mike Shanahan's out. That means good things for the passing game right off the bat because we saw what Gruden did with Andy Dalton in Cincinnati. Hey, Robert Griffin III is not Andy Dalton. He's a step or 2 or 3 above Andy Dalton. So that's a very good thing. Now we know Pierre Garçon is there, and Pierre Garçon is a target monster. He's going to get his targets. But see, Jackson doesn't need the targets necessarily to be successful. He's the type of player with his blazing speed. He's going to blow the top off a defense. Now, RG3 has one of the best deep balls in the game. You have to love the bucket accuracy out of RG3, and this bodes positively for Jackson's fantasy stock. However, that being said, he is an extremely boom-bust, volatile type player. I would not look for Jackson to be in the wide receiver 1 area. Honestly, I wouldn't be comfortable with him as my wide receiver 2. I like higher floor players. Higher floor players get you through those weeks where maybe you don't all of your players explode. Well, Jackson is going to be a guy who will explode at times, and we know that, and we've seen it in the past. But there are also games where he will curiously sort of go away and disappear, and you end up looking at the score sheet at the end of the week, and you got 2 points out of him. So, you take the high with the low, the roller coaster type player. I wouldn't value Jackson much higher than a wide receiver 3, though this will be something very interesting to watch in Washington in 2014. For Pro Football Focus, I'm Jeff Ratcliffe.